right. Welcome out to the Pars Code podcast. It's Wednesday again, Wednesday evening, and we come in again. This is episode number 7, where today we'll be talking about our Rockport Fulton Lady Pirates softball team. We'll break down the games. My sidekick Johnny's here. He'll be breaking down the game, the Calhoun game. Is it the Calhoun game, Johnny?
Miller.
The Miller game, and he'll also have the batting averages and all the stuff that he does. All of that stuff, the districts and stuff. And then we'll also be talking about our Rockport-Fulton Pirates baseball team and the game they had against Calhoun. That was it. And then there's a couple other things we got to talk about. We had some awards that were given out to some of our girls basketball team, and then we had track and field today. So this is part 2. Earlier, part 1, Johnny and I interviewed 2 more girls from our softball team, Maddie Mann and Lydia Zavala. So that'll also be uploaded later tonight and be ready for viewing tomorrow morning. Also with what we're breaking down now. So Johnny, if you're ready, like we always start on the podcast, we'll start with softball.
Alrighty. And today was a updated list on the state rankings, and for the 6th week in a row, Rockport-Fulton Pirates, the Lady Pirates, are number 1 in the state.
Woohoo!
Just have to throw that in there. Just have to. 6 weeks in a row. They only had one game this past since last podcast, and that was against the Miller Bucs. First inning was kind of slow. It was a lot better than the last time we met Miller over in Cavendish Field. But these girls just kept on rolling. Sierra came out with the win, pitching 2 innings. She actually had to go 2 innings this game, which Miller did improve from last game, even though the score didn't show. Final score of that one was 17-2. The game was called off after the 4th inning, I believe, at a 15 rule, mercy rule. Like I said, Sierra went in with 2 innings. She struck out 3 batters. Kimball and Jordan Hall also saw some action on the pitching mound. It's great. These girls, you have an opener, you have a relief person, you have a closer. I love that. This was just a total team effort. Everybody got a hit this game. There was a total of 14 hits. We had 27 batters go to the plate, and only 1 person struck out. That's a lot of contact on ball in there. I mean, that's just great. Manning led the team going 4 for 4, scoring 4 runs and 4 RBIs. Crystal Kutach also went 3 for 3, 1 run scored and 1 RBI. Maddie Mann went 2 for 4, 2 runs scored, 6 RBIs. Sierra, she's catching up with you. And she also had that grand slam that was just a nice shot. I mean, I was at the outfield fence in one of those trucks, and seeing that ball just carry over your head was like, that was my first view from a high school game. I've been to pro games, I've been to college games where that ball goes over your head, but it was the first time I ever saw a yellow ball go over my head. That was a nice shot by Maddie Mann. But that was you always got to want to have this kind of games. It was, Miller's not the most talented team out there, but it gives you confidence, gives you a build up. Here we are we got another game against West Tulsa coming up. After that, it's full on board. It's all the way up to June, after this West Tulsa game. So at the end of yesterday, I don't think no teams played yesterday. I think everybody had an off week. So the top teams in the district, of course, Rockport's 8-0, sitting 6-2, Ingleside's 5-2, and Calhoun's 5-3. So 2, 3, 4 are right there. Who knows what order they're going to come in. Um, Sadly, our first team of the district has been mathematically eliminated, and that is West Oso. So little by little, as game by game, they'll start getting cut out. So West Oso is the first team of the district to be eliminated. Um, as I was mentioning, our next game is against West Oso, which is Tuesday of next week. It is an away game. Uh, the last time we faced West Oso, we scored 29 runs. Those 29 runs were only scored in 2 innings. So we will get our third inning at bat being an away game. Who knows if we could surpass that 29. But again, I hope West Oso does improve like Miller did. They scored 2 runs on us. It took us 4 innings to actually complete the 15-run rule. But also, West Oso also had 5 errors against us. So hopefully they improve. I like seeing teams improve playing against us too. Not to beat us, but to improve.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on as far as what's ahead for us. There's a good break. Everybody had a little a bye week. We also had an additional bye week to top it all off. So we had a back-to-back week. So we have a 12-game layoff. So that's why there's only been 1 game last week and 1 game coming up. But I had mentioned some teams around the other area, which is the bracket, the district that I've been watching as far as the district that we're going to play in that first round. Of course, I'm looking more into the number 3 and 4 spot because the number 4 seed is what we're looking to play in as far as if we win our district out. But last week, I was looking at Columbia and Brazosport. They were playing for that 3rd and 4th spot. Columbia is making a move. Columbia beat Brazosport 13-2. Then they come out the next following game. Columbia beat Needville, which was the number 2 team in that district. So in 2 games, Columbia went from 4th place to 2nd place, just like that. So that's a good, interesting district. Again, I said it last week. If the season was to end today, Brazosport is still the number 4 seed right now. After losing against Columbia, there's a big gap between there now, so it more likely be Brazosport at this rate. Who knows? Bay City might climb back into this. They're only a game behind Brazosport, but yeah, Sweeney's leading that district right now. They're 7-0.
And Johnny, you talked about Columbia. I know earlier on in the season when we first started the podcast, and we played this team already once in a tournament, did we not? And what was the score? Like 42 or?
I believe it was rather 4-2 or 2-0. I don't forgot.
Yeah. It was competitive. I remember it was competitive. So I remember
we had thought that team was going to win that district.
Right.
That's how great we thought they were.
Yeah. And it turned out that the beginning early on, right, they kind of struggled. It looks like they found their swag. Right? Here they come, man, and
they're the fit of that district.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, that's crazy. We got to keep a close eye on that, and I know that you do to bring it up to the podcast every Wednesday because we've got to see. This will be the district that we're going to play in the first round of the playoffs, right? So we got to, pay attention to what that team's doing and see who will Rockport be facing in that first round of the playoffs. So interesting and good work to let the community know here on the Pirates Cove what team potentially we could be playing.
And as far as going beyond the first round, going into the second round, we'll be playing the winners of the District 27 and 28 game. Which District 27 just started their first district game last night. So there's only 4 teams in that district. So it's just going to be who's going to go in what order, So right now, Navarro and Gonzalez are the top seeds going 1-0. And Lavernia and Cuero are the 0-1 team. So they're still early in their district. There's only 4 teams. So there's only be a 3-game district. So that's going to go quick and fast. That's why they're just starting their district. The other districts, District 28, Fredericksburg's leading that district. They're at 6-0. Bernie's 5-1. Wimberley's 3-3. And Bandera's 2-4. The way I had mentioned this before, it would be the number 3 playing the number 4 in that district as far as our second round. And the way, if I look at it now, it would be the number 3 seed would be Lavernia, I believe, playing the number 4 seed, which would be Bandera. So if we were looking ahead, it would be Lavernia against Bandera. We'd be playing the winner of that in our second round. Again, there's a long way to go on that. Long way to go. Bandera actually ain't in fourth. They're tied in fourth with a Canyon Lake. They're having not a great season. They're 2-4 in that district. So that district's starting to spread out quite a bit. It ain't ours as like ours, real tight. The district I kind of been looking at, and I get a feeling this could be the regional championship. Is the District 31, the Calhoun, the TM, the Alice. I thought. This is the weird part about this state rankings. Alice is number 21 in the new state rankings. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But they are in 5th place in their own district.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just I don't understand that. Where is Calhoun in that state ranking? Where is TM in that state ranking? But you got Alice number 21, but they're in 5th place in their own district. They just took a pounding by Ralphstown, 13-2 last night. So Alice was somebody, but that's a tough district. I mean, everybody's beating everybody in that district. So I wouldn't count any of those Calhoun, TM, Robstown. Zapata is the number 4 team in that district now. So that scares me. That scares me. But last week I had mentioned about a state game of the week, and it was between Decatur and Argyle. It was the number 5 team against the 14th team. That I think was a good game. There was a lot of offense. The final score, Decatur lost to Argyle 15-12. So it was interesting. The last inning must have been very exciting. There was a total of 10 runs scored in that 7th inning. 4 runs by Argyle. Decatur came down to the bottom of the 7th inning, scoring 6 runs. So they weren't giving up. Neither team were going to give up at the end. In fact, I was mentioning about Rockport that only had 1 strikeout that game. This game right here between both teams, there was only 3 strikeouts on both teams. So there was a lot of hitting that game. Very exciting 15-12 game. Number 5 gets number 14, and number 14 beat number 5. Your top, I guess, the top regions of every team, the top teams of every region haven't changed. Rockport Region 4, Iowa Park number 1, Region 1, Smithville Region 3, and Melissa the Region 2. None of that's changed. Max Prep, same way. Iowa Park hit number 1, North Lamar number 2, Rockport number 3. I like to see us get that number 1 spot in that Max Prep. So coming up this week, my state game of the week again is Argyle. Because of that game, they actually went down in ranking. They went to number 23 over a win. Yeah, they went from 14 to 23. They are playing Crum. Crum is number 12 in the state. This is out of the Region 1, District 7. They're not playing until next Tuesday, so we'll find out by the next podcast who comes out of that one. There's a lot of good teams out there in the same districts that playing in the state rankings. So this was the number 23 Argyle against the number 12 Crum out of the Region 1. Region 1 District 7 game. Let's see, hold on. Going on to my individual recognitions. Batting average, These girls just keep battling 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Peyton Martinez had taken over the batting average title right now. She's hitting 519. Maddie's at 468, and Emma's at 452. Freshmen still hanging up there in the top three still. The amount of hits, Maddie's got 29, Peyton with 28, and Mikey with 23.
Hmm.
RBIs for I guess it's the fifth week in a row. I got Sierra still leading the pack with 27 RBIs. Hey, but Maddie Mann right there now at 26. Uh,
Mm.
so that's getting pretty interesting fight right there. They're pulling away from Crystal at 16. Stolen bases didn't change. Elena still has the number one spot with 9 stolen bases. Maddie and Mikey Dominguez are number 8. Peyton's creeping up on him though. She has 7 now. That little
Yeah.
speedster could pass him up easily in one game. So that's pretty fun, interesting watching these girls doing this.
Well, we're gonna need, right. We're gonna need them all. We're gonna need Emma in the playoffs. We're gonna need Peyton in the playoffs. We're gonna need all these girls. Alana, you're talking about stealing those bases. We're gonna need her. Come playoffs. This is why it's crucial. Because these girls are talented, right? But when you play a game, the most talented team doesn't always come out victorious, right? I mean, you might be better on paper, but you can have a bad game, and then you're in a close game and you got to try to grind it out. And I've seen good teams lose that if they played 2 days after that, they'd probably come back and win that game big, right? But what counts is when you're playing that game. And so all of these things that we talk about, breaking down what these girls are doing, the stolen bases and stuff, it's all going to have meaning. It's all going to matter when we get to the playoffs. And it's good to see that we're talking, and it's not just one person that's just leading. Like that batting average, it's just right there. There's 3 people, and it's just right there. I mean, the next game, the third can take the first, right? It's. I mean, it's right there. You don't have one person that's just superseding everybody, and it's good to see that the week in and week out, it's not one person that's just continuing to take over. It's just every week it talks. It seems like somebody else is jumping. Next week will be somebody else, right? So it's good to see that because it's telling us that these girls are hitting and they're getting good games, and that's what we need. Our power hitters at top of the lineup isn't always going to be able to pull us out of a game, right? So we need that middle of the lineup. We need that bottom of the lineup to come up big. And we've seen the middle and the bottom of that lineup come up big in big games for us to be able to pull out that victory. So it's good to see that. And I'm glad that you're able to stay up on top of that and let the community know what these girls are doing. So it's great. It's been a lot of fun, right? But we're going to need all of these girls when we get into the playoffs, and even in this district, Johnny, because remember we still got to travel to Ingleside to play Ingleside. That's not going to be an easy game. Um, and then of course Satan will be coming back to Rockport. That won't be an easy game, and I'm not so sure that the Beeville game won't be competitive either. We went to go play them, and Sierra had that home run, but we saw that field and we saw what these girls did out there. So that this is a pretty good coach, a well coached team. That it's just not to say we're going to go in there and just beat this team down. They'll be competitive too. So we still got some tough games ahead of us before we even look into the playoffs that we're going to have to pull out here. So we just need to get ready. I think this break that our girls were able to have is really going to help them out because, like you said, once we get back into the fold and start playing Westoso, there's no breaks in between. It's all the way until I think you said June, right? So there will be no breaks. So I'm glad that the girls are able to get this little rest that's much needed for them, so that when we come back, we come back strong because we're going to need to fill up that tank, right? As we we go the long haul until June. So it's great. I can't wait. I actually miss softball, Johnny, this week. I'm accustomed to writing things on the social media page. Okay, I'm gonna go Tuesday. It's been kind of lonely. Like, okay, wait a minute. There's just one game. This week's been kind of slow as far as the baseball and the softball. But it'll pick up next week, and so I'll just have to settle this week for college softball until I can get back into high school softball next week. Anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay, I will say that we are working. to bring two more girls next Wednesday. Um, one has confirmed. I don't want to say the names until I know for sure, but one I received a message today that is coming. The other one we're still waiting on. I did talk to both of the girls' parents. One of them was in a track meet, so we've got to wait. Maybe I'll get a response here tomorrow or the next day. But we do, if they are confirmed, I'll be putting it on our Parts Cove social media pages. Our next two guests that'll come in, and then we're working on already the following week. You and I have already talked about who we're going to invite, so I'll be sending out those invitations tomorrow morning. But listen, it's been great to interview. I have a lot of fun with the girls. We have laughs. The community gets to know them, and now I'm looking to. I reached out to some of the parents on the baseball team because we want to bring them in on Tuesday. So I'll be reaching out to more parents tomorrow, on Thursday and Friday. Well, Thursday because Friday I know they have a game, but Thursday to see if I can get two boys on Tuesday to do the interview, and then they'll upload it and they'll be ready for view on Thursday. So we're working on that as well. But I'm having a lot of fun, Johnny, interviewing. I know you are too. Hopefully, the girls are having some fun coming on the Pirates Cove. We try to make it fun, but also informative to the inform the community of who the girls are and how hard they're working. And that's what we try to do on the Pirates Cove. We just show the community, there's hard work that our athletes do. And we got some really talented athletes on all sports. All we want to do is show our community what these guys and girls are doing in their sport. So I'll now start and go over our baseball team, the game, Johnny. I believe that they only had one game also since the last podcast that we had. So the boys are going into the second round of the district. And we just came out of a really good close game against Sinton, where we lost 1-0. It was great. Both pitchers for Sinton and Rockport both pitched great. So the boys played on April 1st. They played against Calhoun, um, and we unfortunately took the close loss, 3-2. Luke Merrihead doubled in the first inning, scoring one run. He was also on the mound for the Pirates in this game. He lasted 6 and a third inning, allowing 7 hits and 3 runs, striking out 8. So the pitching was great on both sides for Rockport and Port Lavaca. Calhoun. Isaiah Elizondo, Luke Marriott, and Jordan Gibson each had 1 hit in this game. The upcoming game for our Rockport Pirates baseball team will be this Friday, April 9th. It'll be against the Miller Bucs. This will be a home game, and that starts at 7. So I would say come on out. Our boys are right in the thick of things. It's a really close a district. Nothing is set in stone. The Ingle side will still be in it. Sitting still got to come back. So there's still a lot of baseball to be played. So come on out and cheer these boys this Friday. These boys see the amount of people that can come out and cheer for them, and they get excited. And like I've said before, Johnny, this is a very talented young baseball team. And I've said it from the very beginning that I thought these boys would be in the playoffs, and I still think they will be in the playoffs. So come on out this Friday. And let's make some noise and cheer our boys on to win this game, as the next couple of games are going to be tough. And we need to win these games to possibly have a chance to win district and definitely get into the playoffs. Um, I would also, there was also some, I think, individual accomplishments, Johnny. Um, I, Before we were coming on, I was keeping up with our tracking meet. We had a track meet. And I was trying to keep up with some of the guys. There were some postings that, some of our athletes had done. So I've got some on to talk about this podcast. Some we got on, so I couldn't read if any other postings were done. But if I didn't mention you, and I know they're not done yet, I think someone's still going to go tomorrow. The next podcast, we'll get that information and we'll get it out. But what I do have right now to share with the community is that Our Rockport-Fulton Lady Pirates basketball team, two of the players, um, junior Kaylee Howe, made first team All South Texas, and sophomore Jordan Malone made third team All South Texas. So again, Johnny, these girls this year had a remarkable season, winning district, going on that 20-game win streak, getting into the playoffs. This was a team that a year ago didn't make the playoffs, and they come in and they're working just as hard. And next season really looks bright. I can't wait to follow those girls through their season and hopefully get some interviews with their coach and some of the players as well. But it's going to be a great season next year. So congratulations to Kaylee Howe and Jordan Malone on your accomplishments. Also on our track and field today, or I think it was posted, Josh Lee, he first place in the high jump at the meet. Kaylee Howe, first place high jump, also at the meet. Peyton McAllister, first place in the discus throw and qualified for the area meet, throwing a personal record of 146.5. And then Mikey Dominguez, first place in pole vaulting. She placed first in the 100 meters and overall second in time by .02 of a second. She will be in the finals tomorrow, so there's still a lot to follow, and hopefully we'll have all of these results for next week's podcast. So congratulations to Kaylee, Jordan, Josh, Peyton, and Mikey. And I know there's more. We'll get that hopefully on the next podcast. But as I've always said, Johnny, we've got great athletes here. And I'm glad that we can share their accomplishments on this podcast and let our community know what's going on with our athletes. So again, it wasn't a long podcast, right? Because we're only talking baseball um, and softball. So they're not going 45 minutes to an hour. They're pretty going about 25 to 35 minutes. So I that's all I have for this week's podcast. I would say that we interviewed our guest, Maddie Mann. She plays shortstop, and Lydia Zavala earlier. She plays outfield. So that video will be uploaded as well as this one, and it'll be ready for viewing late tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. So I had a lot of fun interviewing the girls, Johnny.
Oh yes, 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 yes.
And so I will, as we do here on the Pirates Cove, I'll give you the final word. Anything you got to say? Anything you want to say before we call it a night?
I think I might be mistaken. I haven't looked ahead. I meant to look ahead because I wanted to check this out. I think after a week or two, I think the boys and girls start playing in the same place. If I'm
Wow.
not mistaken. I,
Baseball and softball?
right. All
Oh,
right.
that would be
I might be
good.
wrong. I might be wrong. I think they're going to start playing on the same day, same places. So it'd be easier going from one game to another. I could be wrong, but I thought I saw that.
Absolutely. And like I said, I've already reached out to Coach Elizondo and Coach Reyes, and to get interviews from the coaches and hopefully the players as well. So I plan to do that here. I can't make it this game, but definitely the next week and Reyes as well. So I'll be out there. Hopefully after a victory, I can get with the coaches and kind of interview them and get their thoughts on how the season's going. But like I said, Johnny, I anticipate that both our softball girls and our baseball boys will be in the playoffs when the district ends. But come on out and support both of them. Pack the stands, make some noise. The softball, they park out there in the outfield. It looks really nice when you see them out there. All those trucks out there with the flags and sitting out there, lawn chairs. I know that Johnny and them barbecue out there before the game. I don't know. Are you guys going to be barbecuing again? The next home game, or is that something that hasn't been talked about yet?
No, I think we're going to continue doing it. We're
Hey,
going
let
to.
me ask you this: Do people don't do that on the baseball field? They don't stand out there. I've never really looked at the baseball field to see if that's something that's doable.
In the 4 years of watching these high school girls, I've only seen it done once, so it's not very common. And this is the first time we've done it multiple times in the season. The last time I believe it was a playoff game against Beeville, when say about 2 years ago or whatever. Um, Maybe it was
How
3 years.
how
I think it was 3 years ago.
how
Uh,
about the baseball?
but baseball, I've never seen it done. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of space out there in right field that could be done too.
Okay.
So I don't see why the baseball can't do it either.
Well, I saw you guys out there. It just seems real comfortable out there, and it's real, you get a good view from the outfield, right? You sit
Yeah,
up in your truck and you get a good view. You get the wind hitting you. I don't know how good it's gonna be with the mosquitoes here, but it's been good, and I like it. I enjoy it. But the wind hits you. I mean, I look at everybody out there, and it's real comfortable. So I don't know, just something to maybe think about doing here in the next couple of games. I don't know. I hope it continues with the girls, and it seems like a lot of fun. Maybe we'll start doing it with the boys. I don't know if they'll allow it, but it seems like something fun to do. But Johnny, thanks for coming on the podcast today. We had a lot of fun interviewing the two girls and breaking down the games like you always do, and then recognizing our athletes, the accomplishments that they received here this week. And we'll continue to do that next week. Next week, we'll have a little bit more to talk about with games starting to resume again, both probably twice a week. So it's been great. I had a lot of fun. We'll talk. I know you and I will talk before next week's podcast. But until then, thank you very much. And like we do here at the Pirates Cove,
peace out.
peace out.